Hello everybody, it's Gabriel. This is my Let's Play of Young Merlin. Yahtzee's away today, so you're just going to be hearing me speak, which is what you've all been waiting for.
You liar!
Well, that's what you get for making me do the intro, man.
This is embarrassing. I put some Coke in this glass, and I forgot I was also storing some rum in it. But I hope they'll be friends.
I'm sure they'll get along. Look at those old Mode 7s.
What? That's the shittest princess ever. She's not even being kidnapped by anything. She just fell in a river.
She's being kidnapped by water pressure.
They're so easily kidnapped, those ones. And this is Young Merlin, is it?
Yes, this is Young Merlin. This was another one of those examples of games where I had quite fond memories of it because it had a sort of PC adventure game level of personality.
Oh, you turned the waterfall gay.
Yeah, it gets gayer. But then after playing through it, it's like, there's a lot of...
B, thought Young Merlin pensively.
I think that a lot. Just B.
Up, his thoughts continued.
His inner monologue is fascinating at times.
He's dressed exactly like Asterix, I just noticed. Except without the hat.
He looks kind of like a plump Macaulay Culkin.
Nothing keeps him down, does it?
Nah. Well, certainly not monster trees.
He's just happy to be around.
Yeah. The booklet calls those like little meanies or something. And you see what I mean about personality, like little things like that'll happen from time to time.
Okay.
I just called them shit cunts.
For no reason, of course you do. Why wouldn't you?
And then I started giving them like ridiculous names. Like just little personalities.
Look at
and
his
stuff
walk. Look at the way he walks. That's a Jesse Custer walk, that is. That's self-righteous twattery.
That's like shaft up his butt, like... I have no hips.
What are you picking up here? Is this an inventory puzzle?
Yeah, it's a basic action-y adventure thing where you come across a problem, you need an item to solve the problem.
Right.
Go dick around and fetch the item.
I'm just seeing a dude wandering around, occasionally thinking about strangely obscure things.
That's... Because there are elements of this, you've seen the girl get kidnapped by water.
Yeah.
And then
there's your arch nemesis now.
Yeah. Curse you, the damp. And...
Does this even have a plot?
No, well that's the thing, like, it doesn't at first, then it does, and then it doesn't again. It's really weird, like there are times when what you're doing has no motivation whatsoever. Saying when you run into the little shit cunts that kick you in the shins.
That piggy man exploded into tinier men.
Yeah.
You're shit at this. You get hit by everything.
Okay, here's the thing about this game. It does not do the arcadey, action-y element with any degree of skill. It is not. Pretty fucking abhorrent.
It's a bit Zelda-y, isn't it?
In this slight respect.
Makes me think of Zelda meets Toe Jam and Earl, just from the background.
That's actually a reasonably close approximation.
Yeah, look at me with my gaming history.
Meanwhile...
Oh, a plot!
Yeah, well, that's, I wouldn't go that far exactly.
Has Our Lady freed herself from the insidious water yet?
No, wait till you see how she freed her, like, what's happened with that as well, actually.
Alright, I'm in a good mood, this is going well.
Yes.
Hey!
That's Chime. That's a little fairy.
Someone picked up an idea from Link there.
Dun, dun. Yeah, like, get any parallels you may have to Link to the Past out of your head right now, because that game it isn't.
Alrighty.
I mean...
Oh, well...
Yeah, I love this. Like...
Thank you, strange woman.
If you take the Lady of the Lake, who that character is supposed to be, and give her, like, some ravages of meth face, I've had literally that happen to me. Like, just standing there and suddenly this woman's appeared and just got XBBB, XBB, LLL, BBB.
She's not the Lady of the Lake. She wasn't even in a lake.
She
was on some grass. She's the lady of some grass.
Lady of the lawn.
And, someone's left a little miniature teleporter down there.
Yeah, it's meant to be a lamp. This does have a few examples of what's that when you pick it up.
Right. So this is one of those non-dialogue approaches to game design, is it?
Yeah, and that's one of the personality aspects that it does sort of in a way that I find cute and appealing is...
No, I do like a game that manages to tell a story with no dialogue at all.
Yeah, like, there'll be moments when characters interact, and they'll speak kind of like, the parents from Charlie Brown.
Oh, right.
And
Waff,
then,
waff, waff, waff,
yeah,
waff,
and they'll
waff,
just be
waff.
like pictures, and so it'll be like, I need this. And,
It's like the human speech equivalent of dubstep.
yeah.
Wop, 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 wop.
See, and then he runs away. He draws another line and picks another fight.
Oh, is this Little John? Are we Robin Hood now?
And then he kicks me in the shins and teleports away, the little fucker.
Ha ha ha. You're the worst Merlin ever. You're not a patch on Nicol Williamson in Excalibur.
That's the other thing is... Like, the fact that they call him Merlin is, like, it's really irrelevant. Like, they may as well have called him, like, Steve.
Right.
Like, there is next to nothing Merlin-y about him except for the presence of, magic, and that's
Fantasy World Steve.
Fantasy World Steve. I'm gonna call it Fantasy World Culkin, just because the entire time it did remind me of a slightly pudgy Macaulay Culkin.
Did you see him in, like, adult life, Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah, well, he did one movie
like
that
one
was
of those-
actually kind of good when he was an adult, called Party Monster.
It's like one of those two-picture faces of meth sequences.
Yeah, well, now he looks a little methy.
I think he looks more like Dennis the Menace wearing Asterix's clothes.
And this tree sucks. It throws, like, loads of acorns at me that explode.
That's a spam tree. That
Yeah,
is.
and then I remember I got invincibility potions, so I'm like, suck it.
You never look like you're drinking the potion. You
No.
look like you're just rubbing the lid on top of your face. He's so smug. He's like, yeah, I blew up this tree.
I'm gonna go beat up things smaller than me.
Wow, looks like there's some cool action going on over there. Wish there was some in this game.
I wish we'd gone to the effort of animating that.
Yeah, I meant to do that. Yeah. I just got flung by a couple of tards. That's just all part of my big scheme.
I just got beat up by a pile of ankle-high little fuckers.
And speaking of which,
Yeah, so you can't get past that because they kick you in the shins. Even though anything that is, like, only able to kick you in the shin is also football size and therefore able to be punted some distance.
they look like little tiny furry freak brothers.
Yeah, I got bored and just started making up, like, obscene hobbit names
This
for
furry
them.
just saying exactly the same thing but more insistently.
Yeah, it's like, get me my
Let's-
reflection back, I don't like the tree.
Little furry freak brothers. I told you once, I told you 1,000 times.
The one that did it was named Mungwit Titfelch.
Nice.
Mm.
Are you bitter that you couldn't do one of your funny names this time at the start of the video?
Not really. I'm more or less run out. I was gonna go with Nazi Scrimshaw. Because I figured you'd really appreciate the combination of
Oh, yes.
National Socialism and whale killing.
Yes, you're the first person to notice that Nazi rhymes with Yahtzee.
Yeah, but I thought, no, that's an obvious one. Scrimshaw, I think, was reasonably... Like, how many times have you had Scrimshaw?
You know what I've never had is comparisons to the Yangtze, the Chinese river.
Yeah.
And I'd like that, because that would show a keen interest in geography.
Well, except now it'll just show a keen, obsessive interest in you and a desire to make you happy.
Yeah,
Guess what you're going to be getting on Twitter later?
yeah. Perhaps that'll be my, like, parachute account for Twitter. Yangtze Croshaw. Or perhaps that's what I'll call myself when Hasbro finally sues me. Oh, now it's hotting up.
Yeah, I got a balloon that makes
Makes-
Merlin look like me when I was 10.
So you just got some, like, ice power?
Yeah, it's stun powder, essentially.
Right.
So it's like a sack of stuff that makes this twinkliness in front of you and it freezes enemies.
So are the little furry freak brothers in some way associated with our missing lady friend?
Not yet.
Who's that lady friend supposed to be, anyway? I wasn't aware Merlin in the Arthurian canon had a lady friend.
Well, I know she has a name, I just can't remember it.
I mean, in Excalibur, he was just about being weird and ambiguous in his sexuality.
See, this is what I mean, like, this game has the hit detection of a drunk girl's clitoris. It just...
Do you want to think about that analogy a bit more? Because it's not the clitoris that gropes around for things. That would be monstrous.
No, the hit detection of. Like, that's the...
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. You could be rubbing against it and get nothing, and then you're miles away from it, and suddenly everything's working.
I would have said the hit detection of a drunk person looking for a clitoris.
Well, no, because it's a receiving thing.
Oh, fine. And can't be bothered to argue anymore. Because, look, there's some dwarves.
Yeah, little angry dwarves. And I can't get up there, so I'm like, how do
Wall
I solve
jump.
this?
Wall jump.
Yeah.
That was going to be my second guess.
Just turn into a little fat balloon Merlin.
Just when I see two parallel walls opposite each other, that's the first thing my mind goes to these days.
Screw attack. And then I slide down. And okay, so this is what I mean about how my happy little impression of the game at first was like, oh yeah, I remember this game being fun. And then as I'm playing it, I'm like, wait a second. Everywhere I go, I don't get an item. I get a meaningless thing where I have to walk all the way back to the start of the game and use it in order to get the item.
Ah, yes.
And this is fine when you're in, like, this first little bubble of, like, 2 or 3 areas where it's really not that far. But then you start getting a bit further through, and it's not like they give you teleporters or anything. It's not like, here, you can just return to the lake with this item. It's, you have to wander back. Which...
Yes, I think wander is the word.
Yeah, which just gets annoying. Oh, there are a few little odds and ends hidden about the place, and there's one really obnoxious thing later, which you'll see.
Well, I like an exploration focus in my game mechanics. This is like the Shadow of the Colossus for the SNES.
It was, that's an apt description, except without the, fun.
So once this waterfall has been made completely gay, what happens then?
You get a thing that can open another door. See,
gay
like, what
door.
was that? Like, I had no idea what that was, and it makes little bubbles.
You're emitting gay bubbles. Mm-hmm. I'm just fixated on the gay now. as I said to my ex.
Just can't get cock out of your head. So that's what you get for going to one of those pray away the gay camps, man. Like, that shit just doesn't work.
Yeah. See, they kept bringing it up. That's all you can think about. It's like no smoking signs.
Don't think about penis. Don't think about penis. God damn it.
Try not to think about penis. Oh, I lost the penis game.
Yeah. I remember once,
very sensitive kneecaps, does Young Merlin.
Well, kneecaps are a sensitive area, man. I've taken a hit or two to the kneecap. It's not fun.
It's like everyone's going straight forward. It's like that's his Achilles equivalent.
Almost his Achilles kneecap.
He was dipped in the river of immortality and was being held by his kneecap.
Yeah, because his mum was all like, I'm not going to get this Achilles heel bullshit going.
Yeah.
I've got this problem sorted.
I'm going for something less obvious. Aha! Suddenly it's Bubble.
And I found Chime's reflection.
Yeah.
And there's nothing over here, but I checked anyway.
How do you know that the fairy's name is Chime?
Well, back in the days when booklets used to have, like, pictures and stuff.
Oh, I see. It's booklet storytelling, is it?
Yeah.
Did the booklet also happen to mention your ongoing motivation?
It sort of does, but the thing is, the booklet's version of what happens is kind of not what happens in the game.
Love! Exclamation mark!
I'm the fairy of love. Like, because, at this point you're thinking, okay, I have to go save the girl, right?
Meanwhile, something that's going on in the exact same location.
Chime unlocks something that I heretofore had no idea was locked.
Wait, are we not saving the girl? Oh, was the girl like Morgana?
No, that's the thing. Look, she's saved. She's fine.
That was us who threw her in the river.
Like, that's the thing. She fell into the river. She got out. She's not a fucking idiot. It's just she just got out.
And they all lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
After she gotten out of the bloody river.
Wanders over.
It's to a house.
Mm-hmm.
Is that her new boyfriend's house?
No, that's her dad's house. I think her dad's name's Stern or Sturm, if I remember.
Right.
And he looks kind of like...
Trips over a wrench and dies. And then the wrench is your new arch nemesis.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I mean. Like,
battle to defeat the spanner.
Because playing this again, I knew vaguely that it was like, oh yeah, protect the girl.
Well, this is better. That's better, but I think that's more of a pond than a lake. She's the lady of the pond. She's the lady of the oxbow.
The lady of non-denominational bodies of water. The lady of the puddle.
Lady of the piss I just expelled from my body.
The lady of the pee stain on the front of my pants. Pinedale.
We were trying to come up with a generic English-sounding name for an English town. Pity there's no pines in England.
Let's call it Dale.
Well, there might be some. I don't know. I can't remember.
Stole your ranch.
Ha ha ha.
And then Chuck Norris comes to yell at me.
It really is, isn't it?
No.
Wub.
Strom's more manly than Chuck Norris. Strom's a top in all of Norris's gay fantasies.
Yeah, I know. I get, dialogue-free storytelling, but this isn't telling me anything.
Well, apparently the girl likes me, even though I'm, hiding behind a bush staring at her.
Hello! I completely failed to save you from drowning earlier, remember me?
You saved yourself, exactly as I planned.
Yes, I'm
You
like
choose her
God.
and say,
I'm like God. I just gave you the strength to realize your own power.
I fuck those who help themselves. And then I try to burst into her house just because I'm bored.
I want to break into your horribly textured house.
Yeah. It looks like a...
That's optical illusion shit right there. Just exactly the same texture, but they put a little join to indicate where the wall changes angle. And it doesn't really help.
It kind of burns my eyes.
So now your quest is get your lady friend to dodge her chaperone.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, like...
And then what?
It neutralizes the motivation, and that's why there's a second where I'm just like, okay, what am I doing? Because it doesn't suggest that you kind of want to get her out of the house or anything like that, and again, you'll see what happens. I mean,
What the hell?
yeah, I know that. It's just like,
is that a gateway to the hell dimension?
more or less, that comes, you know.
Is
You know what?
that where we're going to take her for our smooch sessions?
Hell dimensions are good date sites, man. Fear and attraction are very, very connected. There's been studies on the way,
Oh, and now we've met Guessafix,
or actual Merlin, as I like to call him.
whose thoughts just can't leave keys today. He's got a key-related song stuck in his head.
Yeah. So, yeah, he needs a key. And then I bumped into him again, so he just felt the need to explain the key thing to me.
I'm trying to think of a key-related song. For some reason, the first thing I thought of was Total Eclipse of the Heart, but there's no keys.
That's
in
fucking
that.
weird. I was thinking that exact same thing. I was literally, I don't know why, I just went to Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Is there even any mention of, like,
Probably not,
anything
no.
key-related in that song?
Turn
Fun
around.
bright time. Once upon a time, I was falling in love, but now only falling apart. There's nothing I can do.
Total key of the heart.
There
Fuck
you
it.
go. There you go.
Let's just change those lyrics. Oh yeah, and it's everybody's favorite thing in a video game: hedge maze.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah.
We haven't seen this since Who Done It? Who Done It?
Who done it? And it
I
turned
don't
out
think it's-
nobody done it.
I don't think it's everybody's favourite thing in games. I think it's just your favourite.
No, I hate them to death.
Well, going by the evidence thus provided, that being two of the games you have picked out for this.
No, you believe me, there was some slight swearing when I stumbled across this again, and I was like, I forgot there was a fucking hedge in
Oh, I
it.
didn't realise there was wrought iron furniture industry in Arthurian times.
Well, you know.
Quite a booming one as well.
Yeah. Well, I have to go somewhere.
Oh, and Oscar the Grouch's decapitated friend.
Yeah, I've had dreams like this, just running through a hedge maze being chased by Oscar the Grouch heads. They're always so angry at me. So angry.
Look at those eyes. They're so shadowy and sinister.
It's like a few more like decorations away from being a really racist Arab stereotype.
You are... I don't know why your mind went to that, but okay.
I don't know. I just clicked on something earlier and it was a really racist Arab stereotype.
Well, they're so easy to find these days.
Yeah. Click around on the internet for a second. Why popcorn?
That's just what I imagine going through his head as he walks.
And I imagined just the opening 5 seconds of the theme to Get Smart on a loop, just never changing, just just over and over again. If I was a gypsy, that's the kind of thing I'd curse people with. Like, just never gonna leave your head.
Bit of Get Smart stuck in your head.
Yeah, and just wind up rocking back and forth in a in a place where you're getting sedated. It happens. It happens later, but the game, because a hedge maze is sort of an obnoxious enough little puzzle point.
Yeah.
The game actually hides.
There's that key that Guessafix wanted.
Yeah, it unlocks his booze cabinet, but the game hides vital items behind invisible holes in walls.
Ah.
So yeah, like
So you just have to play it like Duke Nukem 3D, just go and hump
walls,
every single wall.
So there'll be times where you'll see this specifically later in the cave, like where there is and it's a vital item. It's not like an optional thing, like a heart piece or something.
I kind of miss that in shooters of today. Going up to every single inch of suspicious-looking wall and trying to fuck it.
Something will be behind here, I'm sure of it.
I mean, back in the 90s, I'd play shooters for so long I'd end up doing that in real life.
I'm trying to think of a way of like doing that, just having like a gap in a wall with like a curtain or something painted to look like actual wall. Just walk through and there's like an old lady and a tiny, Japanese girl all dressed up, pop punk, playing chess together, and they just look at you and ask you to leave.
Or just hang a poster over a hole in the wall of your jail cell. You are a cunt, aren't you? Look at you.
An impatient piece of shit.
Tapping your foot, rolling your eyes.
Okay, so the key somehow became fishbowl, and he wants a herring.
Sorry, how is this separating our fuck buddy from her aggressive dad?
No way, shape, or form. Absolutely none. It's just playing silly buggers.
And I just noticed that the parting in your hair seems to jump around your head depending on what angle you're walking in.
Wouldn't that be like a fun, somewhere that's a mutant ability? Like someone in the X-Men universe can just part their hair wherever, just straight away.
Yeah, it's not great against Magneto, is it?
No. I remember seeing that in one of the... I can't remember which comic it was, but they were rescuing some Australian mutant of all things, and it was like, some Sentinels attacked, and they asked him, do you have any abilities? He goes, no, I've just got 2 faces, and they're both ugly. I'm like, yeah, that's not a mutant ability. That thing happens. Like, if you look at medical things in India and shit, of kids born with Janus syndrome and stuff.
Well, it is, in the strictest sense of the term, a mutation, as in a characteristic not inherited from a previous genetic...
And not useful enough. I like this. That's the thing, music in games these days is so orchestrated that it's not distinctive. There's no...
Can't really set lyrics to them these days like you could with the Tetris theme.
Or just...
Or the Mario.
They're not the kind of things where you'll hear a remix of it out and go, oh, hey, it's that. It's...
Right.
It's like, oh, hey, awesome, the Gears of War music. What?
Oh, gee, a wrench.
Yeah. And that, I don't know, destroyed the wrench somehow. Now I have a wheel.
Of course you do. Because you're going to torture someone on it.
Yeah.
That's what wheels were for around
Stretch
this
them
time.
across. Oh, and we're about to come up to...
Actually, it has to be a wheel with spokes, because that was the idea. You could, smash... You could stretch a person's arm over the gap between spokes and then smash it with a hammer.
Back, that's the thing, torture back in the days when death was, when you died at 30, it was we're gonna kill you, you'd be like, so what? So it was we're gonna come up with unbelievably horrible ways to kill you. Oh. The worst one I've ever heard was the brazen bull. That one always gets me.
That's a fun one. That's the one where
that's claustrophobia, heat, it's just...
Where they cook you in a brass bull.
Yeah.
And, the sounds you make come out of the bull's nose and sound like the bull's making
and
noises.
They don't... Yeah, there's one of the invisible wall things, but that was just to get a heart piece. There's there's a few times where you actually have to... And there's no... suggestion that there's an invisible wall there. It's not like there's a hidden arrow if you pay attention or something like that.
This is the richest fucking diamond vein I've ever seen.
Gems.
Every single wall.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's not what they're mining for, because they don't seem to have recovered any of it.
Well, see, that's the problem, is because they're so abundant, they're not very valuable.
Ah, there you go.
That's economics.
Suddenly it all makes sense.
Yeah.
This is obviously a sulfur mine. Haven't found a bloody square inch of this stuff.
All we keep finding are these fucking gems. These beautiful, iridescent, perfectly cut gems.
We completely flooded the market when we opened the first cave in this fucking place.
What are we supposed to do with these fucking things?
Well,
my wife's decorated in them so much she clinks when she walks.
How about we artificially inflate its value by inventing some bullshit about it being an engagement tradition?
Yeah... And then we'll buy them from mines that murder people.
Yes.
Fuck you, De Beers. Yeah, take that. De Beers are going to be so hurt when they hear this.
And then Leonardo DiCaprio will have to do something about it. With a terrible South African accent.
The South African accent sounds fake when it's being spoken by South Africans. Other people doing it's just not a good idea.
It's like listening to someone who genuinely uses Cockney rhyming slang.
Or someone with a really thick Bostonian accent.
Oh, I know what you mean. I was doing the Escapist Expo with Movie Bob, and he puts on a radio voice, sounds like a normal voice, but his actual accent... He sounds exactly like JFK. And it doesn't sound real when he's putting it on, when he drops the radio voice.
You're making that up. Knock it off.
Yeah. I mean, he was talking about the Avengers, and he genuinely said Thor.
Oh, wow.
You could even imagine how it was spelled. Thowah.
Yeah.
Thor.
Thor was great in the Avengers. That was wicked cool.
There really isn't a lot to talk about in this game, is there? Lots of repeating backgrounds and a man with a very smug walk.
It is, yeah. Like, you just want to hit him.
Holding my head high.
I have perfect posture. That's rule 1 of magic. Yeah, that's his posture.
I am just waiting for a fall, aren't I? I'm just waiting to be sealed in ice, like in Excalibur, when I was being played by the excellent actor Nicol Williamson.
And here we get to the really obnoxious and horrible attempt at an arcade sequence, which shows up numerous times, and I have edited it so you only see the successes, but you'll get an idea. Like, if you just look at it, understand how horrible it is to just do it.
Surfing Merlin. This was a game made in the 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah. He's
he did
so radical.
And he's doing an ollie.
Look at him. Look at his pudgy little cheeks.
I think that's just the air resistance.
It looks like I don't know if you've seen the movie Society, but there's a moment where people basically fuse together, and there's essentially a bum with a human face coming out of it, and that's what that side shot of Merlin always looks like to me.
I'm just trying to diagram his fucking eyes from these sprites. There's like a dark space and 2 white dots.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, look at this. Look at all the other shit, the ways you can go. If you run into a wall, if you do anything wrong, it goes grrr, and you have to start at the start again.
Fun.
Yeah, and then and it's a maze, so you have to work out how to get there, going at this speed, where every time you screw up, it's immediate reset. It is excruciating.
It's like a virtually identical minecart maze bit from Super Mario RPG, I think it was. But that had the benefit of using Mode 7.
Mode fucking 7.
Everyone loves Mode 7.
Well, I think this game had a little bit of Mode 7 at the start.
Should have used more Mode 7.
Yeah.
There is nothing quite like improving a SNES game than Mode 7. Revolutionized fucking Final Fantasy. They could put world maps, Gabe, right?
Yeah.
Gabe, on a slight angle.
It's fucking amazing. I remember that. I think I cried the first time I saw that.
You're drowning.
Yeah, just wait.
Might want to sort that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's doing the old Kratos business with the...
molesting a mermaid into giving an auction. Except sometimes there are piranhas.
Or molest them. If it's just a matter of molesting
they're slightly
underwater
less
life forms.
agreeable to it.
You're drowning now.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, this was I cut out the repeated failures of this because it's this bit's excruciating. Like later on, you get an item that makes it a little more easy, but it's one of those ones that's just.
I always thought Ariel was a fucking clingy Disney heroine.
There you go.
But then I guess they're all.
Then there's the dogs.
I guess they're all pretty clingy to a certain extent. Oh, this is bad design. This is really bad design.
Yeah.
Your survival depends on randomly finding mermaids in cracks that may contain hazards.
They're not like they stay as they are. Like once you find them, you found them.
Even so.
But yeah, it's part of that like really artificial extensioning of the gameplay. Where it's,
there you go again.
Yeah. Music's nice though.
Not even your helmet hair can save you.
And that's a durable helmet of hair.
Yeah,
found one. Yay!
You're not even kissing. You're just like exchanging, details.
I was gonna make a joke about telling her that I breathe through my penis, but then, the idea of a woman actually blowing an air bubble up my urethra popped into my head, and it just made me wince.
That was one of those schoolyard stories that somebody actually did that and gave their paramour an air embolism that killed him.
Okay, I'd believe that someone could get it, I don't think it'd give you an embolism. And then that just happens.
Visual pun.
Because I was close to the exit there. That was me close to winning. And then suddenly this fucking shark just comes and goes, don't.
Walkie. Death by visual pun.
Yeah, and again, the vague hit detection means that it doesn't have to touch you. It just has to touch in the random-ish space around you that, is the fucking hitbox of you. Just.
No, they're not kissing. What he's doing is that they're coming out and saying, "Does this milk smell off to you?" And he's having a little smell and going, "Yeah, I'm going to throw that out."
And then he's okay.
Thank you. Merlin doing the world a service.
It'd be funny to just do that, just like go door to door, knocking and just going, see? Like, just like, boom, no, just jumps, it just teleports like a notch away.
That just reminds me of something you said during the Future Wars video, I think. Just arbitrary punishment!
Yeah.
Pow.
There's a few of them in this. I mean, it's not as bad as all that, but...
Oh, it looks pretty bad.
Yeah, it was at this point when I was playing it that I started to chuck the shits. And I was just like, this game isn't fun anymore.
This really is quite emblematic of 16-bit isometric adventure, isn't it?
Yeah. And it... You know, again, there are elements of this I enjoy. It does have a really good cartoony sense of personality and fun to it, which, you know...
I guess.
Yeah, well, again, you know, this
Sort of
was around the time when if you wanted a decent PC adventure game, you needed a CD drive, or, you know, fuck you.
Right.
And...
Seems like
And this was, you know, if you didn't have that, you could play Young Merlin.
Yay!
which was not the same.
Like Final Fantasy or something. Hope you like random battles.
Random.
Oh! Color palette cycling animation. I love that, don't you?
I actually sort of do a little, you know, like I
remember
kind of
it
like
being used to great effect in Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis.
That was a hard game.
Oh, forgot something, did you?
No, I got my item.
Oh, that was literally all you were there for.
Yeah. That's the thing, okay, so rather than go to where I am and get an item, I go to where I am, get a gem, have to go back to the pond, turn the gem into an item, and then come back to where I was to use the item.
It's a back and forth, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's... To such a friggin' degree is a heck of a thing to sit there and say, hey, buy this game.
Well, like you say, this was adventure games on consoles of the time.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, Link to the Past at least did it well.
I remember when Dizzy was a big thing in the English games industry. I played an indie game, like, piss take of it, called Wibble World Giddy. Wibble World Giddy. And one of the, like, main puzzles in that game was that right at the end, there was, like, a puzzle, like a big pile of rocks you had to clear. The thing you needed to get to clear that pile of rocks was all the way at the start of the game. And it was like a 2D, just left to right, walking game. It wasn't even a platformer. You just walk from left to right and solve whatever puzzles come up. So you just had to walk all the way back through it all.
Fun. Just go for a walk all the way back.
Well, it was taking the piss.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's okay. I don't mind. You know, for the purposes of chuckles, that can be perfectly fine.
I remember one of the puzzles in that game, because it was on the Amiga, was that you had to find an Atari ST to give to a man with an Atari logo on his shirt.
What did he give you after that?
Well, he just got out of your way.
Oh.
But his complete dialogue was Atari, rave, gibber. I remember that quite distinctly.
As someone who has had their path completely obstructed by enormous men in Atari shirts, yeah, it's... Gotta find a way of getting rid of them.
Yes, the Atari ST was after the Atari 2600, after Atari stopped being relevant.
Yeah. That's kind of sad.
Well, it wasn't, because it was mainly because of E.T.
Oh, well, no, the fact that they were still trying was kind of sad. So I got a bubble for my purple gem.
Plot? Is there plot now?
No.
No.
No. This guy's come out and it's like, hey, some bastard stole our purple gem, so we'll put one of the easily killable dwarf men out here.
What's that thing next to the door that looks like the cursor from Maniac Mansion?
It's an item in this game that really is useless. It's just fucking stupid.
Waterfall not quite gayified.
Yeah, ain't rocking the flag yet.
By the way, I fully respect homosexuals.
You have to remind them, because otherwise you sound like a giant homophobe.
No homophobe me. I mean, who can say they haven't occasionally dreamed of taking a big manly cock in their mouth? I know I have.
I would love to pursue this train of thought.
Tell me you've never entertained the thought that maybe you keep thinking about wanting to get a blowjob because secretly you want to give one.
No, I mean, like, the acid test, like I said, the acid test I have for, like, homosexuality is would I want to kiss a dude? And I just look at it and I'm just like, no.
I don't know.
And that's the worst thing too, because I've been hit on by really attractive men, like guys who were like fucking like this one dude looked like an Abercrombie model, and he was kind of drunk, but still, like a 10's a 10. And the entire time I'm kicking myself for not being gay, because I'm just like, that's something. That's a handsome fucking dude hitting on me. I'm like, it's just, I just look at him and it's like, do not feel a damn thing.
Well, not that I want to give fuel to any, fan fiction writers, but I'd kiss a dude. I'd kiss David Bowie.
Okay. Fan fiction artists, you could
do not listen to this man. Don't do anything.
You came through for the creepy Phil face.
Ignore
you can come through for this again.
Well, I wouldn't kiss any man.
I'm not saying any man. I'm just saying draw Yahtzee kissing David Bowie.
I like
Ziggy Stardust era David Bowie.
I think of myself as a Bowie sexual.
That explains a life-size cardboard cutout of the Goblin King.
Or bisexual, women and David Bowie.
Women and David Bowie. Who's, kind of androgynous enough to... God damn it.
Yeah, you could sort of convince yourself.
Well, the way I figure it is, I shouldn't have to convince myself. Like, either you're interested or you're not.
I mean, I wouldn't want to take it up the chocolate speedway, but a nice kiss would be fine.
See, that's how it starts, man. You start out just kissing a gay dude, and suddenly they've tricked you into the best sex of your life.
Normally I'd complain we're getting off topic, but...
The topic is depressing.
No, there isn't a whole lot to say. It's just more of the underwater bit.
Yeah, just looking at Merlin's confident chest-forward stride.
Passing rocks that look like recently eaten sweet corn turds.
I just get the feeling that you're just, looking at his biceps this entire gameplay now.
Yeah, you jealous? Yeah, I can swing them and everything.
Look at this.
Look at it go.
Swish. He doesn't walk so much, he kind of sachets everywhere.
It's like waving a flag depicting your obvious love for me.
You see what I mean there? Like, that gap between the block and the other side of the wall, and you just, you can't walk through it.
Yeah. That's, pretty classic tile-based design, isn't it?
Yeah, and it gets abhorrently worse.
Whoa, I'm not going to fill your air meter entirely. What do you think I am, a slut?
Yeah. And it seems kind of meaningless, because you can literally just stand there and go, hey, I'd like my lungs filled, please.
No, I'm not the same guy whose lungs you just filled. I'm his friend.
Makes you wonder what she's doing in there. Just sitting, reading a magazine, waiting for, divers to come down.
Yeah, maybe just breathing on a big oxygen tank.
She has her own oxygen tank that she could just give you.
That's how they get high underwater. They just have oxygen tanks.
Big oxygen hookah. You gotta be careful doing that.
So now, after all that, we've got the fish in the bowl.
Yeah, we can go give it to Beard.
To get a fix, as we said.
Yeah. And then some more nothing will happen.
Do we even have a guarantee from Getafix that this is going to get us some pussy?
No, I really don't think that the game's story is suggesting that that's what you're up to anyway.
Well, it seems pretty straightforward to me that Merlin's on the hunt for the, what's the right word? I think pussy will do again.
Yes, you want something that's respectful. You don't want
to... He's the big yellow neighborhood dog.
Real doll that talks back.
He's the neighborhood dog and he's on the hunt for some kitty cats.
Fleshlight with all the added extras.
Meow.
Reminds me of one of my favorite...
See, now that's not cycling color palette animation. I can tell by the way the curves change.
Ripple. That's an amazing skill you have.
I know, right?